And these tools are not included on all accounts. If you don't currently have access to our web management tools, I still encourage you to join us to learn about all the great features that are available as add-ons to your account. Before we begin, as a reminder, and for those of you joining us for the first time, the GoToWebinar control panel is where you can submit any questions for the moderator. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a red button with either an arrow pointing to the left or an arrow pointing to the right. That button opens and closes the control panel. If you see an arrow pointing to the left, click on that to open your meeting control panel and reveal the questions box. At the end of the course, we will open up the conversation for questions and discussion. So let's start by reviewing today's objectives. Today we got 5 key objectives to cover. First, we will discuss the importance of marketing to your book of business about your business. Secondly, engaging your book of business means emails. So we will look at effective email marketing so you can avoid being marked as spam and can get the word out. Next, I'll give you 2 proven email success strategies that will just blow your mind at how easy they are to implement. Then for the return on your investment, we will review the stats of what is tracked for this strategy and how you can tell what each individual did with the email. And finally, we'll review accountability measures to ensure consistent long-term results. So let's get started. To make sure you're getting the most out of this course, I will be asking a couple questions throughout. Anytime you see the blue question mark, that means it's your turn to answer. So our first question is, how often do you market to past clients? And what is the communication or marketing message that they receive? Take a moment, type an answer into that box for me, the question box, and please do answer that way. I know you guys can hear me, and then I'll share your answers in just a moment. All right, Marcus says a calendar once a year. Sandy says a Christmas card, a birthday card, and she sends out listing flyers. Henrietta says on average twice a week. She sends emails to those that respond. She sends once a month to those that have not responded. Okay, great. And her message is usually to look at this particular home. Great, so she sends out a specific listing. That's always a great idea. So perfect. So thank you for sharing those answers, by the way. And so we can see that agents are across the spectrum with all kinds of different things that they send out. But here's the thing. I actually have a really jaw-dropping stat for you. The average agent loses 81% of their client base almost as soon as escrow closes. Study after study, 91% of agents never follow up with their referral base. And the NAR reports that's the #1 reason why a realtor loses so much opportunity. They simply stop following up with the client once the deal is done. NAR also reports 90% of buyers say they will use the same realtor again, but only 19% actually do. 85% of sellers say they will use the same realtor, but only 9% actually do. So this equates to an 81% loss of client base. It's a tremendous loss. For most businesses, that would mean closing the doors once and for all. What if you work by referral only? The average agent has a client base that is 41% referrals. So how much more business could the average agent have if 81% of their client base stayed loyal? How much more business would you have? What would your life be like? So imagine your life at 81% more business. Truth of the matter is, even after I buy a home, I'm still interested in other homes that exist on the market. Home design, decoration, market conditions, all these things are still interesting to me. So an agent that sends me changes in home values and current homes for sale in my neighborhood still would interest me. And in turn, that agent stays at the top of my mind. That way, when my best friend talks about buying their first house, your name flies right out of my mouth. And the easiest way today of accomplishing this top-of-mind awareness for your entire book of business is email marketing. So fortune's in the follow-up. Some of you may be asking, what exactly is a book of business? So your book of business is your entire sphere of influence. Everyone you know must be included in your book of business because everyone at some point is going to buy or sell a home. So this means your book of business includes past clients. Of course, they'll buy or sell a home again. What about their referrals? Well, make it easy for them to forward an email from you to a friend who's just starting their home search. Current prospects and leads. So if you think you're the only one marketing to your prospects and leads, you're fooling yourself. I guarantee you, if you are not marketing to your current prospects and leads, your brokerage, Trulia, or another agent is. Home buyers have a great deal of marketing pressure and can become easily distracted or engaged by another realtor. So keep your business at the top of the minds of both your current clients and your prospects. Referrals. Just because they were referred to you by your best friend does not mean the deal is done. Make sure they know why you are the best. Your neighbors, your friends and family, they buy and sell homes too. This one concerns many agents, but are you going to refuse to sell a home to your best friend? Your closest family and friends are your strongest supporters, so make sure they can easily refer you to a friend or a colleague. So your entire sphere of influence is your book of business. Market to everyone that you know. They're all potential buyers and sellers. And that type of mindset separates the top producers from the rest of the pack. Now, email marketing is perhaps the most cost-effective means of mass marketing today. You'll make more money if you communicate with your prospects and customers more often. To be effective at this, you need engaging, relevant content. So let's take a few minutes to discuss writing effective emails and define the goal of email marketing. Quite simply, the goal of an email is to generate a click of the mouse. One, to open that email. The second, click back through to your website. That golden or money click is that second click, when the prospect is linking back to your website, your home search, or your Facebook page. And a simple request to like me on Facebook has proven to increase email click-through rates by 158%. Now, I'm sure many of you are thinking, I receive tons of emails every day, and I delete so many of them without even opening them. And you're not alone. But 64% of users open an email based solely on the subject line of the email. In fact, each of you had to open an email to join this interactive webcast today. And I would suggest to you the reason you opened the email is it was important and relevant to you. In fact, relevant content is the first of 5 keys to effective email campaigns. Second key is to be bold, be memorable and fun, have personality. Third, build relationships. Your book of business will include people you've never met, as well as people you already know. So renew trust to gain a referral from past clients, current clients, friends and neighbors. and warm up a new prospect to give you a call. Fourth, keep in mind we are used to short emails, so shorter is sweeter. And our fifth key to effective email campaigns is to be right on time. So frequency is so important that it deserves me providing you with several recommendations and success tips. Communicate frequently to ensure you and your business maintain top-of-mind presence for your entire book of business. So you'll make more money if you communicate with your prospects and customers more often. However, there is a limit. So think of your pool maintenance man. What if they emailed you 3 times per week, even in the winter when your pool was closed? What about a house painter or a mortgage lender or a roofer? No, there's such a thing as too much email. For this reason, we recommend emailing about twice a month. And you always want to continue to add real, tangible value to your prospects or customers through these emails. The challenge in staying in front of your entire book of business is the time and the effort it takes to implement such a program consistently. Lucky for you, Z57 has given you 2 email strategies you can do in minutes or schedule out in advance. So our first success strategy to maintain top-of-mind presence is with our listing email strategy. The listing email strategy is designed to accomplish 2 objectives. First, it keeps your business in front of your book of business by providing a snapshot of one of your listings. Every time a prospect opens a listing email, they're engaging with your business, as each listing email is branded to you and showcases a listing on your website. Second, it generates traffic to your website. So the listing only highlights the property with a few photos, as we want prospects to click back through that email to your website for more pictures. The best part is listing emails track opens and clicks for every listing email that you send out. So you'll be able to see exactly how well you're achieving these objectives. So listing emails give you the flexibility to email property announcements for listings that are coming soon, just listed, just sold, just reduced, and open houses as well. So let me walk you through the simple process of sending out a listing email. Under our Marketing tab, you go to the Email Campaign Manager, and we go to Create New Campaign. And there's a couple choices. There's Listing, which we're going to do first, and then Custom Message, which we'll talk about in a minute. So keep in mind, step-by-step instructions are available in the Help Center. I'm going to go ahead and select Listing. And the first step when creating that new listing email is entering in a subject line. So the subject line of the email needs to excite prospects and jolt them into opening that email. So be bold. Have a what's in it for the buyer mindset. Why should they open it? Then we want to select which listing specifically we want to email out. And then what type of listing postcard do we want to send? And you'll generate an email that looks something like this. If you want to make any edits to the text, you simply click on the text and make your edits. Guess what? It's that easy. Now we're almost done. If you're curious to see the final email, what you can do, you don't see it on the slide, but on the actual page, if you scroll to the very bottom, you would see a field to send yourself a test email. Now our final step is to schedule the date on which the email sends, which actually we'll discuss in just a moment. But I want to take a few minutes to discuss writing effective subject lines. So your subject line is so important as it may be the only element of the email that a recipient is ever exposed to. And you'll always write it with a what's in it for me mindset. Again, when you say what's in it for me, I mean what's in it for the client. Why would they open it? Keep it short. Subject lines which are 50 characters or less are the most effective. So take a look at these 10 subject lines that have gotten notice and have produced some very high open rates for our clients. They're straight to the point. You know exactly what the email is trying to communicate. Your subject line should do the same thing. Never use words that are in all caps or exclamation marks. As online, that means you're screaming at me, or could be interpreted as a spam message. And finally, avoid words that get picked up by spam filters and may cause your email to arrive in the spam box rather than your contact's inbox. While many words exist, the three I want to make sure you're aware of are help, free, and sale. Now, our second success strategy is a quarterly call to action email. So this strategy is designed to re-engage your entire book of business with your website and remind your contacts of the valuable services available on your website. So your website continues to be a resource long after the deal is done, as it provides data on homes for sale in every neighborhood and other current market data, school information, community information, and so forth. Well, be sure to remind clients of that value, especially if I just bought a house from you. That email is the best referral generator, as a client can easily forward it on to a friend. And utilizing our professionally pre-written templates within Property Pulse makes this strategy very simple. First, let's give our email a subject line. So the subject line that works well in many cases would be, for this email, would be announcing buying and selling resources. Now here's where I pick the template. In this case, I'm going to select just checking in, which produces this pre-written email. Now once the email content is populated, you can modify this to your personal style. Again, very simple. Now we're almost done here, but we do need to address who in your book of business will be receiving the email. So if we scroll down on the same page, we see the recipients right here, and we select all leads. If you want all leads to get it, you could target a group like buyers, as you see here, or just your IDX contacts, or however you want to do it. For today, I would recommend for listings, I would send it to all leads. Then we need to schedule the date that we would like to send this out on. So if I click inside of here, using this tool, I can set the date on which any email is sent out. Property Pulse has a built-in set it and forget it scheduling for many of the different marketing activities, including the emails. And the feature allows busy agents to take an hour, one day a month, and schedule out a whole month of marketing activity. And Property Pulse takes care of the rest of it for you. At any point, you'll be able to come in and edit the email. So your email could be scheduled, say, a month from today. And edits could be made right up until the day before the email is sent. Now, when scheduling emails, keep in mind there are certainly better days than others on which to send the emails. Typically, the middle of the week produces the highest open rates for emails. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when you want to schedule your emails. Monday and Friday, non-essential email will quickly get trashed. And weekends tend to produce poor email open rates, as most people, when out of the office, also want to leave their email untouched. So the middle of the week is a real sweet spot when sending emails out. My most successful clients will set aside an hour or so the first day of the month and plan out the whole month of emails. So use that time to write and schedule each email. And you'll have then freed up the time the rest of the month to simply follow up on the inquiries and prospects. So I plan on sending one email every 2 weeks, with most of them simply being listing emails. And that means each month you'll send 2 emails and at most three emails in longer months. So I've covered a lot, so I am interested to know, what do you think will happen when you send out a listing blast to your entire book of business? Take a second, answer that question, and I have seen a few questions that have come in while I've been talking, so I will address those questions for you while I'm waiting for everyone else to answer this particular question, which again is, what do you think will happen when you send out a listing email to your entire book of business? I'll be back in just a second. All right, so I got a few answers here. So Sandy says she got a couple inquiries on one of her properties. Okay, perfect, good. Lionel says some clients asked to be removed and some clients wanted more information. Okay, sometimes you will get a little bit of a mixture there. And Henrietta says some will respond if they're looking or if they live in the neighborhood. Perfect. So absolutely. So you get a little bit of all kinds of different responses, actually. So thank you for sharing those, by the way. I appreciate that. And for those of you weary to think that anything will result from listing emails, I want to review the stats to understand exactly what the strategy produces. So email marketing stats are useful for determining the effectiveness of your email campaigns. But most importantly, stats are powerful insights into how engaged a prospect is and how interested they might be. So let's take a few moments so you have a solid understanding of what they mean. So for each email sent, stats are captured to show total sends, opens, clicks, bounces, and unsubscribed contacts. In the Email Campaign Manager, you would select the campaign that you want to review on the next screen. So this is just like the screen we were on a minute ago where we sent an email. On the bottom, it will allow you to Go down to Stats and select the date of the email that you want to review the stats for. And the Property Pulse email stats are as accurate as the Internet allows. Data inaccuracy is not specific to Property Pulse, but rather caused by firewalls blocking data. Email and security settings, as well as restrictions by many email providers, may prevent some of the statistical information from being captured or reported correctly. But the data that you do get, wow, I mean, delving right into the stats, the two most important metrics are opens, which are right here, and clicks. So opens will show us exactly which leads opened and read the email. Clicks show us exactly which leads not just opened the email, but also clicked back through to the website for more information. Underneath those stats, you can then see how each individual responded to the email. After the webinar, take a look at the results from some emails that we may have already sent out for you through our system. Pay attention to people who clicked back through to your website and follow up with those people. And if you're not seeing the results you hope for regarding the email, call the ZPro On-Demand team and we will identify the problem with you. Typically, however, poor stats means it's time to sharpen the pencil and do some rewriting. Now, you'll make more money if you communicate with your prospects and customers more often. A virtual guarantee. The time to act is now. I want to remind you, according to the NAR, the average agent loses much of their client base because 91% fail to follow up with past clients. And I know that 91% of people will gloss the strategies presented today thinking, wow, these are great ideas. That would really help me generate more business, and then never do anything about it. So to avoid that, right after this webinar, I want you to do two things. First, send out one listing email today while the information is fresh in your mind. In the Help Center at z57support.com, you will find step-by-step instructions making this very easy to complete. Second, block off 1 hour the first Tuesday of every month in your calendar for setting up your monthly email marketing campaigns. The secret to being a success story and creating actual results in your business is to use the scheduling feature to schedule all your email campaigns in advance. Set it and forget it. Results don't happen overnight. It takes consistency in your email marketing to engage your book of business and to see an increase in your referral base. But consistency is the key. And if you implement, results are virtually guaranteed. Now, we'll get to your questions in just a moment, but I want to take a moment to remind everybody. Our Help Center is at z57support.com and provides instructions on how to use various tools on the website, including the email tools we went over today. Also, from this page, you can also sign up for additional webinars. So for your next course, I recommend registering for Property Pulse, promoting your online presence for results. During that course, you'll learn how to use your offline marketing to get the maximum traffic to your website and Facebook. If you missed the first part of our course today or simply wish to take the course again, register for the course again at z57support.com. So at this point, I will open up the floor. If you have any questions about anything we've covered today, feel free to ask your questions. If there are no questions, that's fine. I'll be back to wrap up in just a moment. All right, looks like there was no additional questions. So that just about wraps up our webcast for today. So I want to thank you for attending. You were a great audience. It was my pleasure to host. Our moderator, Jenny, will be available for another minute after I'm done talking, just in case a question pops up. When you exit, a little survey will pop up on the screen. Your feedback is always appreciated. And as a reminder, you always have access to support at Z57. Oops, I've accidentally jumped ahead here. You have access to support at Z57 by simply chatting, emailing, calling during these business hours. And remember, your ZPro team is also great at coaching you to help you achieve the best possible results with your program. So I thank you for your time, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.